Strategies for teaching multilingual learners in the mainstream classroom. Teaching multilingual learners, MLS, in the mainstream classroom requires effective strategies to ensure that these students can access the curriculum, participate in class activities, and develop their language skills. Here are some strategies to help support multilingual learners and create an inclusive, engaging learning environment for them. 1. Use visual supports. Visual aids like pictures, diagrams, charts, and graphic organizers can help clarify concepts and make content more accessible. Use real-life objects, realia, to demonstrate new vocabulary and concepts, especially for concrete topics. Anchor charts that summarize key ideas can help students remember and reference important information throughout the lesson. 2. Simplify language without simplifying content. Use clear and concise language when giving instructions and explanations, avoiding complex sentence structures or idiomatic expressions. Break down instructions into smaller, manageable steps to make it easier for multilingual learners to follow. Maintain the academic rigor of the content, but scaffold language to make it more accessible. 3. Scaffold instruction. Scaffolding involves providing temporary support to students to help them achieve a task until they can do it independently. Examples of scaffolding include providing sentence starters, word banks, graphic organizers, and model answers. Gradually remove the scaffolds as students become more confident in their language skills. 4. Activate prior knowledge. Connect new content to students' prior knowledge and experiences, including their cultural background and home language. Use KWL charts, know, wanna know, learned, to help students relate new concepts to what they already know and identify areas where they need more information. 5. Encourage collaborative learning. Pair multilingual learners with peer buddies who can support them in understanding and engaging with the content. Use cooperative learning strategies like think, pair, share, jigsaw, and small group discussions to encourage interaction and language practice. Group work allows MLs to practice speaking and listening skills in a low-stress, supportive environment. 6. Build vocabulary explicitly. Teach academic vocabulary explicitly, focusing on key terms and phrases that are essential to understanding the content. Use word walls, flashcards, and interactive vocabulary games to reinforce new words. Encourage students to use visual dictionaries or bilingual dictionaries to support vocabulary development in both their home language and English. 7. Integrate multilingual learners' languages and cultures. Recognize and value students' home languages by integrating them into classroom activities. Use multilingual resources like books, posters, or websites available in both English and the students' home languages. Celebrate cultural diversity by incorporating students' cultural backgrounds into lessons, projects, and classroom discussions. 8. Differentiate instruction. Adapt assignments and assessments to meet the language proficiency levels of multilingual learners. Offer multiple ways for students to demonstrate their understanding, such as through written, oral, or visual presentations. Provide additional time for MLs to complete tasks or assessments, especially when it involves reading and writing in English. 8. Differentiate instruction. Adapt assignments and assessments to meet the language proficiency levels of multilingual learners. Offer multiple ways for students to demonstrate their understanding, such as through written, oral, or visual presentations. Provide additional time for MLs to complete tasks or assessments, especially when they involve reading and writing in English. 9. Encourage language development through interaction. Create opportunities for students to practice speaking and listening in authentic situations. Encourage language use through role plays, dialogues, and debates that allow students to practice conversational skills. Provide positive feedback on language use, focusing on meaning and communication rather than correcting every grammatical mistake. 10. Use technology to support learning. Incorporate digital tools and apps that support language development, such as Duolingo, Quizlet, Google Translate, and Kahoot for vocabulary practice. Use multimedia resources like videos, audio recordings, and interactive simulations to reinforce learning and engage multilingual learners. Encourage students to use voice-to-text features on digital devices to help with writing tasks. 11. Create a culturally responsive classroom environment. Build a classroom culture that values diversity, empathy, and respect for all students' linguistic and cultural backgrounds. Encourage students to share their cultural traditions, stories, and experiences with the class. Establish a supportive environment where students feel comfortable making language mistakes and taking risks in their learning. 12. Communicate with families in their home language. Whenever possible, communicate with families in their home language to keep them informed and involved in their child's education. Provide translated materials and multilingual resources to help families support their children at home. Invite families to share their cultures and experiences with the classroom to foster a sense of community and connection. 13. Provide clear and structured routines. Establish predictable classroom routines to help multilingual learners feel more secure and understand the expectations. Use visual schedules and cues to help students follow daily activities and transition smoothly. Structured routines reduce anxiety for MLs and help them focus on learning. 14. Use formative assessments to guide instruction. Frequently check for understanding using formative assessments like quick writes, exit tickets, or thumbs up/thumbs down responses. Use this data to adjust instruction and provide additional support where needed. Formative assessments help identify gaps in language skills and content knowledge, allowing for targeted intervention. 15. Promote social and emotional learning, SEL. Recognize that multilingual learners may face emotional challenges related to adjusting to a new language and culture. Teach and practice social-emotional skills like self-awareness, empathy, and collaboration to help MLs feel connected and supported in the classroom. Create a safe space where students feel valued and respected, fostering a sense of belonging and confidence. Conclusion: supporting multilingual learners in the mainstream classroom requires a thoughtful, student-centered approach that values their unique strengths and backgrounds. By using these strategies, teachers can create an inclusive learning environment that empowers MLs to reach their full academic and language potential while celebrating the rich diversity they bring to the classroom.